Maybe it's because it's outside the Eurozone. Maybe it's because it's cleaned up on cheap and cheerful tourism. Whatever the reason, Turkey is riding high at the moment, the 6th most popular destination in the world for foreign visitors. Now it's venturing into Islamic-style, family-oriented tourism with a new target in mind. But how wise is this? On my journey, I'll be in Istanbul, crashing the set of a soap opera.
Please don't act.
Don't act, just act normal.
Don't act.
Yeah.
Just feel.
And discovering conservative chic, which, like Turkish soaps, is winning Middle Eastern admirers and boosting brand Turkey. And then moving to the southern coast, where new Sharia compliant, family-oriented resorts are all the rage. But also, where on the Syrian border, the hotel and restaurant trade has all but collapsed. And then finally, going inland to get a unique overview of one of the most incredible landscapes on the planet. It's early morning rush hour on the Bosphorus, and Istanbul, the very heartbeat of Turkey, is gearing into action. All around me, ferries, sea taxis, cargo ships and fishing boats are all helping to push this country into the Premier League of world economies and tourism destinations. In years gone by, Turkey would have looked almost imploringly towards the West and Europe for trade and tourism. But these days, there's a wind of change, and it's looking east. Istanbul's got the buzz. Tourist arrivals to this city were up 18% in the first half of this year alone. Many, yes, from Western Europe and Russia, but significantly more and more from North Africa and the Middle East too. And this is what's making all the difference, many say.
Camera!
Welcome to Desperate Housewives, Turkish style, churning out 90 minutes a week to huge audiences, especially in the Arabic-speaking world. This is what they call soft power in action. In the few years these teledramas have been zipping off the production line, the number of Arab visitors, according to the distributors, has gone up tenfold. Leading lady Songül also starred in Turkey's groundbreaking first soap, which in its final episode had 85 million viewers from Syria to Morocco, Spellbound, with its classic rags-to-riches storyline.
One of the most important aspects of the character I played in Noor, and what made her popular in the Middle East, is the fact that she is educated only to high school level. She then gets married, and it's a difficult marriage. She also goes to university and transforms from being a girl who simply does embroidery to a textile queen.
And the director of Desperate Housewives says the key to the success of all Turkish soaps is the way that they represent modern women.
I think a female director is able to convey women's issues better, and since we tell stories of women, it's only natural that the show is mostly viewed by women. There's no space for men. In short, we create an environment for them to escape the realities of their daily lives.
The feelings that come from being woman are the same. When cheated, women from all cultures would react in the same way. Feelings are universal, but cultural differences come into force when we show sexuality.
Soap actors here are becoming the equivalent of Bollywood, Korean Hallya or Latin American telenovela idols. So when I volunteer for role of leading extra, oh okay, I made that title up, I tell Songul.
Ah, okay. Good idea.
Yeah, okay, good.
This is a good idea.
I don't want to steal the scene from you, you know?
She gives me a backstory, a motivation, a man waiting anxiously for his wife to give birth. My hopes are high to be bagged for a big-time role.
I think maybe they see me as the kind of star of this scene, really. I'm really feeling it, actually.
Camera.
Mind you, after the 5th take of this same scene, which is then shot from 4 further different angles, I decide to go back to the day job. Songul herself has become a brand ambassador for Turkey, whether she likes it or not.
As soon as I walk onto international departures in Turkey, my life changes. Being part of these soaps allowed me to interact with millions of people from the Middle East and the Balkans. In Europe too, lots of people recognise me and want to meet me.
And this is that scene as it was transmitted on television only this week. That's me there. Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? Look, rewind. It took me 4 hours to shoot this. It's not just soap operas that are making Turkey cool to the so-called conservative chic female market. The magazine Allah, in its debut year in 2011, immediately outsold all better-known rivals from Vogue to Marie Claire and Elle. So, what are the guidelines for conservative chic?
This is the principle. We should cover our body except our hands and foot and our face. We should cover all.
Do you want the clothes to make Muslim women look attractive?
No, we don't want to look attractive.
Well, I've got to say, this to me does look attractive. These are attractive clothes, attractive woman.
Yeah.
The average Allah reader says Ebru is well-educated and intelligent, just underserved by the conventional women's magazine market.
We don't have only fashion in the magazine. We have some cultural events.
Are they strong, assertive women, do you think?
Yes, I think.
This is a major football derby match in Istanbul, a men's game. And you might be thinking, hang on a minute, there's loads of women around here. But that's because grown men have been banned from attending. But in fact, it's actually quite appropriate, because with all the changes going on in Turkey at the moment, it's women who are pivotal to what's moving.
Fact is, women in Turkey have always held influence. There are prominent women in business and politics. But Ebru says it's the combination of that and conservative chic that makes Middle Eastern women want to come to Turkey.
Turkey is most of the time attractive for them to come and visit, because we are the modern side of Muslim countries. Here, the Turkish women are independent. They are free.
But coming up, is the creation of Islamic-style resorts a step too far? Plus, one of the most jaw-dropping views I've ever come across. Turkey is a vast country, but getting around by plane is relatively easy and cheap. There are 100 airports in 80 cities. My destination now, the well-established coastal region of Antalya in the south.
This region has been a cash cow for Turkish tourism for the last 20 years, especially the last 5 during the Eurozone crisis. From all-inclusive package tours to holiday villas and swish hotels, this has essentially become a holiday home from home for many Europeans and Russians.
It's a Russian joke that Turkey is not abroad now for Russia. They just come to summer holidays and enjoy because Turkey has nice climate, nice sea, nice people.
But clientele to this region is changing. Last year, visitors to Turkey from the Gulf states soared, up 75% from Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. Many attracted by a new phenomenon in the tourism world, the Sharia Compliant beach resort.
So here you have it in a nutshell. Just down the coast there is a typical Western resort, where by day people strip off and sunbathe, and in the evening go out and enjoy the nightlife into the small hours. And here you have the new style Muslim resort.
If you really know what's good for you, ease the load.
We're talking modest dress, halal food, segregated spas, no alcohol, and amenities for religious customs. But that doesn't mean that in most other ways, families like the Gongars from Germany don't enjoy a beach holiday like everyone else. That is, until a middle-aged Brit who thinks he's Lionel Messi turns up.
Oh, he nutmegged me! What the hell? Oh, well saved! Great, what a sliding tackle! It's an open goal! It's an open goal! And Tata scores for England! Winning!
We were in search of a holiday spot suitable for Turkish traditions and customs, and our friends recommended this place. We love this resort. It is just a place for us. The fact that it has separate compounds for men and women is important for us, so that's why we are here.
In our family, we don't drink alcohol. Therefore, when we come here, we are relaxed. My kids can run around, play as they like, just as we would at home.
A typical day is mum and dad going for a walk along the beach, followed by a family breakfast. Then for the rest of the day, except for lunch, the family splits, with mother and daughter going to the women's compound. The family are very happy with this and think the concept will be a big hit with the Turkish diaspora.
First-generation migrants in Germany didn't look after themselves. Their only concern was to work, save up and be able to return home. However, the younger generations are taking care of themselves. They take their holidays and won't give up on the other luxuries of life. And I'm sure there will be huge demand for these kinds of resorts.
But in the current political climate, where in a secular country the government is pushing social policy down a more conservative path, some people find the concept of Islamic-style resorts threatening.
I don't think there is anything to worry about. It doesn't bother me if someone is wearing a miniskirt. A woman with a headscarf shouldn't bother others either. We should have a broad mind about this.
The hotel manager opened this particular resort in 2006 with 400 rooms. He plans to open another in this region and then spread the concept to city hotels. But Mr. Yücel says it's not an ominous trend, it merely caters to an underserved market.
This is the whole point of the concept. Those who want to be separated can be. As you know, Ramadan's the most important month of the Muslim calendar, and with the first hotel to be fully booked for the period. Most resorts suffer during Ramadan, ours doesn't.
In 2011, the Islamic tourism market was estimated at $126 billion. That's 12% of global tourism spend. Along the coast east of Antalya is Antakya. Religious tourism is a major draw for a town of many coexisting faiths. The disciples Peter and Paul lived here, and the word Christians is said to have been first used in Antakya. Mind you, the road to Damascus is today fraught with problems, because Antakya lies on the 560-mile border with Syria.
There is a downside to Turkey positioning itself as a tourist mecca for the Middle East and the Muslim world generally, and that's because of the instability of this region itself. That's especially true just 50 kilometres from here, where there are frequent skirmishes on the Syrian border. It's meant 100,000 refugees pouring into Turkey, and tourism in the beautiful city of Antakya falling by 90%.
This restaurant specialises in authentic Turkish cuisine, and for 22 years has been welcoming diners from the world over, especially day trippers from Syria and the Middle East. But not anymore.
We're near the border, so it's only natural that people are worried. Our business used to be good, but with the latest developments in Syria, our business has halved.
So is this always going to be a hazard of running a business that relies on tourists in a volatile region?
Yes, of course, where the peace has been disturbed, it's only natural that people are concerned and unhappy. However, here in the Middle East, when you finish the problems in Syria, it will move on somewhere else, to Egypt or Libya. For everyone to live in peace and harmony will be a relief for us both personally and business-wise.
Down the road, it's all hands on deck at the Saban Hotel.
It is shining with actually temperature.
Owner Kazim says with the Syrian border closed, Arab tourists have given up on coming to Antakya.
When I talk them with my phone or something, there's a problem in Middle East. Yeah, they have different kind of problems. That's why some of them are going to different countries or like Europe. Actually, there's not any problem in Antakya, but when you look at the people, they think there's a war in Antakya or something like that, but there's nothing in Antakya.
Kazim says that while the local economy is suffering terribly, his hotel is still full, but not with the usual type of guests.
It is like war tourism or something like that.
War tourism?
Yeah.
Tell me what you mean about that.
War tourism, we don't have any domestic tourists right now. There are so many foreign visitors, but I don't know who are they.
Before I leave, in these troubled times, I decide to give Kazim a hand.
Pull the trigger like this.
Ah, okay. Blinking hell! It takes a bit of getting used to it.
Just a second.
Stop. Got a mind of its own. Yeah.
Right, time to beat a hasty retreat. Next stop, inland, and Cappadocia. Hundreds of so-called fairy chimneys and distinctive rock pillars in a canyon carved from volcanic lava. And go deep into the rock formations themselves, and you discover a whole new underground network of tunnels and caves.
amazing to think that 4,000 years ago, using the most basic tools, people created this in order to live, work, eat, and hide from the enemy. Astonishing. Oh, and by the way, you still find the odd 21st century cave dweller. Seems pretty chilled out, doesn't he? Dawn the next day and the Rose Valley begins to fill up with early morning rays. And then this daily spectacular gets underway. It all seems really close to them.
No, don't worry, I've got parking sensors on the bottom of the basket. Oh, there you go, very lucky, we made it. It will actually make us go up faster and faster. Just coming over to the village of Ürgüp. Our ground speed is about 11-12 miles an hour. We were at 6,500, about 3,000 feet above ground, 6,500 feet above sea level.
So our journey is coming to an end, and of course I haven't spanned the whole 800,000 square kilometres of Turkey, but I think I'm getting an overview of how this country's tourism works. Turkey is lucky to be blessed with such natural beauty and diversity, but in a way its greatest problem is the scale of its ambition. It's trying to be all things to all people. Perhaps because it does possess such natural diversity, Turkey's service culture is not completely developed. Many Turks themselves told me this should be improved. A job half done on that score, you might say. But time is on this country's side. It's got a very young population and Turkish pride burns very strong. I've got no doubts that ultimately it will succeed in what it wants to do. It's a perfect day, isn't it?